when I go into the hip exam, I do a little bit of an impingement test. It's not a classical test. You're not going to see it. I don't think you're going to see it in any of the textbooks or anything like that when you want to clear the hip. Remember, the hip is it refers awful. I mean, it's an awful joint to try to evaluate because of palpation and how it refers. You start looking at evaluating hip labral tears or anything of that nature, and you look at the smorgasbord of symptoms that might, whether it be a C sign, it might be front hip pain, it might be lateral hip pain, it can be buttock pain, it can be even back pain. So what that tells you, it's a little bit like the heart. When somebody's having a heart attack, what do they complain of? You have chest pain, arm pain, elbow pain, jaw pain, upper back pain. Hip is the same way. So I make sure I go through a full exam, even if they come in with pain straight over the PSIS, and I'm thinking it's probably SI joint, I still want to clear this. So the first thing is I make everybody look like they have full hip flexion. If I just take their knee and drive it, push their tilt their pelvis, everybody will have full flexion. What I want to do is I want to drive down through their femur and go up and then see how much hip flexion they have. Okay? Because that stabilizes the hip, or excuse me, the pelvis, and then that way I can kind of see it. It's also, if they have a little bit of impingement up front, that's not, they're typically not real comfortable with that. All right? So that's one of the things that I'll do. Typically won't have arthritic patients, but when you want to clear a hip, a hip scour is a really good thing to do. Is just to kind of bring them around in that full motion. Okay? You might find out that they're really tight posteriorly. It's kind of hard to do that. You'll get a feel for what the hip is like when you're going through it, but that's a scour. If they have any arthritic changes in the joint, they're not going to like that. The other one is looking for any hip impingement. And you say, why am I focusing so much on the hip? The hip and the back work together. I can't evaluate one without evaluating the other. Too many times you can see hip pathology that's relatively asymptomatic, and the spine is starting to scream. That's the symptomatic component. But you don't really want to just treat the symptomatic component, do you? You want to treat the cause. So you want to clear the hips. You want the hips. If you're not clearing the hips on a back exam, you haven't done a back exam in my mind. So that's why I'm doing it, and I'm so focused on it. The other thing too is if you have a very stable hip, that's strong, and has great mobility, guess what the back's going to most likely do? You just fall. Okay? Because it rides up. Fader, like flexion, adduction, internal rotation, looking for that labral tear. Okay? You come through and you come through. No fader test, flexion, adduction, internal rotation, nothing there. If they don't have a fader, that really tends to rule out the whole labral impingement type thing. If they do have a fader, it doesn't necessarily rule it out. Does that make sense? So you got to go a little bit further. Got it. You've heard of the Faber test? I'm not sure what a Faber test is there for. Okay. I know it correlates a little bit with SI pain, but very poorly. I do a Faber test because I'm really compressing this to ASIS, and I want to look at what that capsular mobility is like. And again, I'm going to look for asymmetry. So rather than look at it and say, okay, yeah, they hurt really bad on that side for that SI joint, for SI joint pain, I want to look at just, like I said, do they have enough mobility? And I'm looking for asymmetry. You want to look at her, what do you see? I compress this and hold this in place. So you look at excursion, and then you look at Enfield. And that's a really kind of firm Enfield to it. When I come here and I cross this leg over, and I do that, I've got great motion, and I've got a nice springy Enfield. So I wonder a little bit about her anterior capsule on this head. Okay, I do see an asymmetry there. Now, if she says, yeah, I also have a lot of SI point on this pain, or I've got a set pain on this side, and I'm going through the stabilization process, I might just go ahead and get that hip capsule mobility back. Why not add the symmetry component there? You with me? She's completely asymptomatic, but it's something that you see and there's to worry about. Okay. Roll on your side.